Within Polarion, we have our time machine function, which is called the baseline. Within Polarion, we can browse to our baselines on our left-hand navigation pane. By selecting baselines, this takes us to our area where we can then create a new baseline, view our baselines that we've previously created, and also do comparisons amongst our baselines. To create a new baseline, we can simply select the Create button, and within here we then give our baseline a name. This could be alluding to perhaps a particular release that you may have had, a particular point in your approvals process that you may want to view and see. For this, I'll give it a in review baseline as a name. Our baselines can be created live, so at any point in time when we're actually working through our process, we can say that, okay, we want to create a baseline at this particular point in time, which is the current and head revision. But we can also then select any previous revision within our Polarion project. So we can actually scroll through and see different revisions that have been created at different points in time. So we could actually select a different revision and create the baseline from it. We can see here now that our baseline is being created, so it's selectable within our baselines window. To view our baseline, if I click on In Review, which is the name of our baseline, we can see now the project in this baseline state. When a project is in this baseline state, it is in a read-only mode. So we can actually see exactly what was going on in the project at that point in time. So I can select my work items and see how the project was looking at that point in time. So we can see that our work items are currently at an in review state. We can see that we're looking at our revision here as well. So we can see every time that we are looking at a baseline and a revision. This is also highlighted by the fact that we've got our baseline tab that's being used here as well. So this flag's added to our project window so we can see clearly that we're working with a baseline at the moment. Whilst looking at these baselines, our work items are in the state that they're in, but also our reporting pages and our reports that are there, and our documentation is all at that current point as well. So within our baseline, we can actually then view documentation for that baseline point in time. So we can see here now our process description of what that document actually looked like within our baseline. To exit out of a baseline view, we can leave the baseline view by clicking the X on the baseline tab that we have there. So we're now looking at the project live again. Within our baselines that we actually have within the project, we can also then do a comparison amongst the two baselines that we actually have. So we can select two versions, the two baselines that we actually want to compare, select the comparison, and this is actually then going to generate a comparison report. We can then view those baseline reports by clicking on the Show Comparison Reports, and within here we can actually then see our report that's been generated here. We can then select the action to show the report, and within here we can then see our time points of what had taken place, any categories that have been added, any work items that actually were added to our project as well. So we can actually see what didn't exist and what has been created since then as well. We can also view our work items, any changes that may not have taken place at those points in time as well. We can also then see any changes that have taken effect across our particular work items and fields that are within those work items. So it is a very detailed and in-depth report within those comparisons, which we can then print out if required.